Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beautiful Hearts and Minds Health Services Orientation. Today, we will be reviewing all of the documents that are required for your HR file. We will also go through your independent contractor contract as well as the offer letter. At any time during this video, if you have any questions or concerns, please be sure to stop and write down those questions. We will schedule a time at a later date to review any questions or concerns that you may have. Okay, so to initially begin, the first thing that's required in your HR file is the application. Everyone should have received the application when you came in for an interview. If for some reason you were not able to complete your application or you did not leave it or you wasn't given an application, please be sure to let me know as soon as possible. I can email you the copy of the application or we can schedule a time for you to come into the office. Also, a part of your application, we need an updated resume. So, a lot of times we get the resumes from off of Indeed, but they aren't updated for some reason. The formats are off. It doesn't have all of the relevant information. So, please be sure to email me or bring in a copy or fax a copy of an updated resume. Next, we also need 3 references. 2 of the references must be professional references. We just need their name, contact information, a phone number, email address, whether it's a professional or personal reference. Um, and please be sure to let these people know when you provide their information that someone from Beautiful Hearts and Minds Health Services will be contacting them in order to complete a reference check for you. Generally, the reference check doesn't take no more than 5 minutes, maybe. I will also email you a copy of this reference check form. Please complete it and return it. If you haven't, if you've already submitted your references, that's fine. I just need, like I said, their name, contact information, and how long you have known them and whether they are professional or personal reference. If you have had a background check completed within the last year, then we can request the background check that you already had completed. You just would have to provide us with the reference number to the background that you previously had by completing this form, the 365-day form. You must complete this form in entirety and be sure to here we go. And be sure to number. This is the only way that we are able to request a previous background. Okay? So just be sure to provide the 12-digit, it's a 12-digit reference number. If you had a previous background check, it should be on either your receipt or if you got a copy of the background check itself, then it should be on that as well. But you must provide the 12-digit reference number. Again, be sure to sign where it says signature of employee and date. Okay? If you have not had a background check completed within the last year, then you must go to get a background check. The background check normally costs about $50, and you can go to Ricestown Road Plaza, or there are some other smaller fingerprinting places. There's actually one right up the street from the plaza, like 2 blocks up, on 7 Mile Lane. I think it's 4005 7 Mile Lane. And you normally can go in there and be in and out, and it's still the same cost. If you do have to go get a background check, you must provide them with our authorization number, and our authorization number was provided to you either on your offer letter at the bottom. It's this number right here, the CGS authorization number, or it was also provided to you in the potential hire letter that outlined all of the documents that you must submit. So the authorization number is 1700005123. Okay, so be sure to provide that number when you get your background check. Background checks should generally take maybe a day or two to return, sometimes maybe up to a week, and then it normally does not take really long to get your background check. Um, they give you an option to get a copy of your background check. I always suggest that you always keep a copy, have a copy sent to you as well, and a copy will be sent to us. Okay? So the next thing that we will be going over is the tax information. Because you are 1099, which means you are an independent contractor, which also means that you don't have any taxes taken out of your check, you must complete a W-9 form. Okay, if you have any questions about how to complete the W-9 form, please give me a call and we can go over your questions. But be sure to complete the W-9 form and sign and date this form. This form can, again, be sent to me via email, fax, or you can bring it directly into the office. Okay? So now we're going to go over your official offer letter. So once you are offered employment with Beautiful Hearts and Minds Health Services, you will receive an official offer letter. The offer letter will explain to you when you will officially start, where you should report, and when your orientation and training should happen as well. Um, it talks about your probationary period. Each new hire has to go through a 3-month, 90-day probationary period. And during this time, you will get a lot of one-on-one supervision and training and guidance to help you to become more familiar with our policies, our procedures, the way we operate. A lot of times PRPs we have to do some things the same, but some things are done differently. So we just want to be sure that during your probationary period, you understand what is required of you. In terms of the employment, this just lets you know that you are a 1099 contractual employee. It also includes your rate per visit, um, and it lets you know the differences in rates if you bring your own clients versus if you do not bring your own clients. The payment for your services is paid once monthly, and you will be provided with the coordinator's pay schedule as well. And again, this is the background check number. Once you receive your official offer letter, please sign and return this back to me. Um, so now let's go over some of the duties as a rehab coordinator. You will also be given, these are the job descriptions for the rehab coordinator. It's 2 different job descriptions. Please be sure to sign both of them, even if your preference is to only service adults or your preference to only service minors. I still need you to sign and date both of the job descriptions. And so when you work with adult population, um, you must see your clients at least 6 times. And a lot of times the areas that you're working with the adults is self-care, social skills, independent living skills, mobility or transportation, helping them with money management and budgeting, getting them connected or helping them to maintain their entitlements. If they have any cultural activities that they want to be involved in, getting them connected with medication, promoting health, nutrition, exercise. There are a number of things. So any life skill that they need assistance with, then we will assist them with that. Also, we will also help them with behavioral issues such as anger management, stress management, teaching them coping skills. Um, so those are some of the behavioral areas that we assist our clients with as well. Okay. So it is your responsibility to monitor your client during each of your in-person visits. And these visits must last 30 minutes or more. If the visit is taking place off-site, then it only has to be for a minimum of 30 minutes. If you conduct an on-site visit with your client, then it must be for at least an hour. Adults must be seen at minimum 6 times per month. So I suggest that you kind of identify a schedule with your clients. That normally works the best. If you identify a schedule, if you say, hey, I'm going to see you every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 o'clock, because gives them accountability. It helps with your scheduling. Um, and it just makes seeing your clients a lot easier versus just calling them randomly and just trying to hurry up and catch up with them. If you kind of establish and make boundaries in the beginning and let them know that, we have to be seeing 6 times a month. This is how long each session is going to be. These are some of the areas that we can work on. Then they know what to expect. You must document each contact that you have with your client, and we will go over how to document later. But each face-to-face contact with your client, you must document. Also, you are required to document any gaps in services, or if some emergencies came up, or any pertinent information in regards to their treatment. Please be sure to document those things. Okay. You also have to summarize their progress every month. Um, in some instances, you will be required to work cooperatively with their family or any other professional, maybe their therapist, their psychiatrist, a case manager somewhere else, as long as we have a release of information for that. Um, you will meet the client. You'll meet them at their level. So wherever their need is, you may have to meet them at the house, or if you meet them at the office, or you just meet them wherever they are. There may be times that you also need to facilitate on-site groups, or just facilitate. It don't have to be on-site, but just facilitating groups. Period. Whether it's you actually facilitating it or you just organizing a group that could be beneficial to your client. There may be times that you will have to transport your client to on-site activities or transporting your client to certain appointments if it is relevant to their treatment. Also, you will be required to attend all supervision, training, and monthly staff meetings. So if you have any questions about these are the requirements for working with the adult population. Working with the minors is about the same. Some of your requirements as far as with HR are different. For people who work with minors must have some college credits. You must have a minimum of 30 hours of college credits. So, in 1 year working in the field. Um, so, in order to work with minors, you must meet those requirements. Everyone is required to do some training, but in order to work with minors, you have to do 60 hours of training. So, everyone across the board just completes 60 hours of training. That is different. There's 60-hour training. It's on our website. I'll give you access to that. But it is a combination of reading materials. It could be videos. It could be PowerPoints. Some of them may have some questionnaires or a little exam at the end. But you must complete the 60 hours of training. Also, a part of the 60 hours of training, you will have to shadow or come in when we have on-site group activities, just so that you can see how we operate, how these groups are facilitated, how to interact with the client. A part of that may also be one of the supervisors shadowing you, just to ensure that you are conducting the sessions appropriately. When you're working with minors, you kind of have to advocate for the family as well, because they are minors. A lot of times we have to work collectively with the parents or whoever the guardian is to ensure that we are all on the same page, and that the things that we are implementing, the interventions that we are doing with them, that they are aware so they can follow suit and do those things as well. Um, of course, still maintaining contact with the therapist, and working on some of the following areas like social skills, boundaries, um, independent living skills, personal hygiene, grooming. So there are a number of different things that we can go over with the minors. If you have any questions or concerns about what is appropriate and what's not, please be sure to speak with your direct supervisor, myself, or program director, whoever your direct supervisor are. You can also, whoever your direct supervisors are, you can also schedule supervision with us, um, also collaborate with other staff. We work collaboratively in regards to servicing the client, so you don't have to feel like you have to figure things out on your own. Just let us know what questions or concerns you have, and we can figure those things out. Okay, so as far as we're working with the minors and adults, just be sure to sign both of the job descriptions and return those items to me. They will be sent to you in an email, and again, you can just review them at your own time. If you have any questions about what's required of you, then please do not hesitate to contact one of the admin staff. Okay, so next we'll go over the independent contractor contract. You can review this at your own time. I'm just going to highlight some of the most important parts. Um, as an independent contractor, you aren't required to come into the office for a certain amount of hours. You can come to the office to work if you need to use our computers, or if you need to make copies, or if you need to meet with one of the staff. If you want to conduct any on-site groups, you can do that as well. But you are not required to come into the office. What we do as an independent contractor, you are required to adhere to the company's policies and procedures, as well as COMARS, as well as the Joint Commission. We are accredited through the Joint Commission for the next 3 years. So we have kind of 3 sets of policies and procedures that we have to follow. And so if you are unsure about anything as far as what you are capable of doing, or what our policy is on certain things, just please talk to your direct supervisor. There is a copy of the policy and procedures in the office, and you will also be sent a video going over all of the policies and procedures that you are required to adhere to. Okay, so the position that you have, you will be a rehab coordinator, independent rehab coordinator. So you are responsible for adhering to all the responsibilities and duties of that position, which we just went over previously. Um, your contract, your period of contract. So for the first 90 days, you will be, of course, you will be on probation, and after the 90 days, you will have an evaluation. At that time, we will identify whether you are, whether you understand the policy procedures of recourse minds, whether you have been upkeeping with the documentation. Um, you are required to complete your 60 hours of training, any ongoing training, any supervision during that time. And once, like I said, once your probationary period is complete, then we will evaluate your performance and determine whether or not to extend your contract, to terminate it, or to extend your probationary period. So during this time, please utilize the admin staff, the program directors, the rehab assistants, the rehab specialists to answer any of your questions, any of your concerns. You will still have access to us beyond your probationary period, but it will be less frequent. During your probationary period, you will have supervision up to once weekly. Okay, so please be sure to utilize us, call us, email us. We are available to assist with any questions that you may have. Both parties are at will, so at any point in time, we can, before month can terminate your contract, or you can terminate your contract. Um, Rehab coordinators are paid once monthly, and you are paid at a rate based off of your education and your experience. Your contract will identify what your specific pay rate is and what you are allowed to, the max amount that you are allowed to make per month per client. There is also a sliding scale pay schedule as well that you will be given. The sliding scale is basically if you do not meet your minimum visit requirements. So for adults, it's 6 visits. For minors, it's 4. So if you, for some reason, whether it was your fault or the consumers are not able to meet all of your visits, then it will directly impact your pay. Okay, so you are giving a rate per visit, but if you are not able to complete each visit, then it will directly impact your pay. If you have any questions about it, again, please jot those questions down and we can review them at a later time. Okay, so also a part of your pay, you are required to submit these documents. This directly impacts your pay. So, for people who are seeing clients, you must submit signature sheets. The signature sheets are due the last day of the month, okay? And they must have a signature for each face-to-face visit that you completed. All your contact notes must be completed as well. Contact notes must be completed within 48 hours of seeing your client, okay? Your contact notes will be reviewed weekly. If for some reason you fell behind a little bit on completing documentation, you have until the 5th of the next month to complete all work. All work must be submitted by the 5th of the next month. For example, um, if you saw all your clients in June, you have until July the 5th to submit all of your documents. If you are adhering to our policy with completing your documentation within 48 hours, then by the end of the month, you should not have a lot of documents left to complete. You really should only have the monthly summary to complete, a collaboration, and if there were any gap notes that you needed to complete. And really, gap notes should be completed within 24 to 48 hours of the occurrence. Again, if you have any questions or concern about that, please let me know. If for some reason you do not submit your signature sheets or your time sheets or your billing forms that you're supposed to submit weekly um, by those due dates, then it will directly impact your pay. Okay, so if we get our documents late, then it can cause you to receive your pay late. Okay, again, if you have any questions or concerns about that, please let me know. But all your time sheets and your signature sheets is due by the last day of the month. And we will go over on how to complete those things. Your billing forms. Each week you are required to submit a billing form. Every Monday by 12 o'clock you are required to submit a billing form. The billing form outlines, it identifies what clients that you saw for the previous week. When you submit those billing forms, those notes should be complete as well. So that lets us know who you saw and what notes to review. Okay, so please be sure to adhere to all of the following rules in order for you not to have your pay impacted. Okay, so because this is a 1099 position, there are no benefits for this position. Your responsibilities and duties are outlined in the job description. Again, in terms of the employment is, this is at will, but I just want you to be mindful of the clients that we service, and that if it is your intent to leave, that you do so in a professional manner, do so in a way that helps the client to transition to whoever they will be transferred to, and do not just abruptly leave if you can help it. Okay. However, if you do choose to resign for any reason, just please be sure that you exercise professional judgment. Provide us with an official letter of resignation outlining the date of your last your last day. Okay. If for some reason we are not able to contact you, we haven't received any billing, we haven't had any correspondence with you, we will assume that you are no longer working with us and that you have abandoned your job. So please be sure that when you receive any email correspondence, if we call you or sometimes we may text, please be sure to respond, because if we do not hear from you, we will assume that you are no longer working with us. Okay? Um, dress code, um, just be sure that you are well groomed and that you have professional attire. Be mindful of our clientele. Sometimes we may service clients in shelters, or we may have minors, so just be sure of the items that you wear. Also, because we are inclusive, we have to be mindful of cultural diversity. So just be sure that some of the shirts or hats or any of the items that you wear will not be offensive to any culture. Okay. Um, this dress code policy, you can review it at your leisure, just to identify if you have any specific questions or concerns about what you can wear, or what not to wear. Okay. Confidentiality. Please be sure that we are dealing with people's medical records, their personal business. A lot of people, are hesitant to even just talk about it. So just be sure and be mindful of protecting their personal information, protecting their confidential information. That includes phone numbers, addresses, date of birth, socials, Medicaid numbers, their name, any identifying information. Please be sure to safeguard those things. Also, if you see a client out in the community, and it's off-peak time when you're not working, be sure that you don't say, "Oh, that's one of my clients," or just be sure to always safeguard and protect your client's information. Okay. So even when um, even when if you are given privileged information. So again, just making sure that you keep those things personal. Make sure that you maintain a professional relationship with your clients. Make sure that you are setting boundaries. A lot of times, because we do become their own support system, they may cross the line. They may try you. Um, you know, they may, make a pass or anything. So just be sure to always set professional boundaries with your clients. Um, and if anything questionable happens or something that you're unsure about, please be sure to talk to with your supervisor or the program director, and document those things. Okay. Um, cannot disclose any of our clients' information without their authorization. They will sign off on release of information when they complete their intake. So any person who has a release of authorization, then we can talk to them, but we cannot talk to anyone about our client's treatment unless we have consent, and we must have written consent. Okay. Any property of Beautiful Hearts and Minds, be sure to um, keep it safe, and return it upon termination. If you do not return any of our property, then it will directly impact your final pay. You cannot solicit our consumers. You cannot take our clients if you choose to leave. You cannot maintain contact with any of our providers. So once you leave Beautiful Hearts and Minds, any agency or client that you were given from us, then you will no longer have access to them once you leave. Okay. So you can go through this contract and you can go through this contract more at your own leisure. Again, if you have any questions or concerns about the contract, please let me know, and we can address those questions. Um, and finally, let's go over, this is the rehab coordinator pay schedule. So if our clients, for the rehab coordinator, your work is done monthly. So your pay schedule is your pay period is from the first day of the month to the last day of the month. Your timesheet will be due on the last day of the month. The timesheet will be exactly the same information that you have on your consumer signature sheets, which we will go over later. Um, it may seem repetitive, but the timesheets, of course, is for payroll purposes, and the signature sheets is for medical records purposes. So we must have those two things separately. So basically, your timesheet will have the exact same information as your signature sheets. Okay, so let me show you the actual. You'll get access to all of these documents. Um, once you turn in all of your documents and have an official start date and start seeing clients, you will have access to Google Drive. Okay, so under this payroll folder, of course, you have the payroll schedule. Like I said, your payroll time period is from the first day of the month to the last day of the month, and your timesheet is due on the last day of the month. This is what your timesheet looks like. You must put your name at the top, which is employee name, the month and the year, so like June 2019. The date of submission should be the last day of the month, so 6/30/19. You will put your client's name, John Doe, all of the dates that you see John Doe, 6/1, 6/5, 6/7, whatever. The time in and time out, the duration, whether this visit took place on-site or off-site, and if you completed the note for that visit. Also, you have to identify whether you completed the monthly or not. Just simply circling yes or no or writing the word yes or no. Okay? And so you will have to do this for each one of your clients. So when you see your clients and you have their signature sheets, you basically just copy the exact same information from the signature sheets onto your timesheet. Okay? Please be sure to check back and check your timesheet and your signature sheets for accuracy, because whatever is put on the timesheet is what will be billed for. Okay? And if there is a discrepancy, that means there will be a discrepancy with the billing. So please be sure that whatever is on your signature sheet is also on your timesheet. Okay? And once you complete that, then you sign. You submit this the last day of the month. This will be submitted on Google Drive. This is what will be used in order to pay you. So please be sure that you have completed all documentation for the clients that you submit a timesheet for. Be sure that you have submitted the timesheet. Be sure that you've completed the monthly, the collaboration, anything that's required for your client. Please be sure you have completed those when submitting a timesheet for that client. Okay? If you have any questions or concerns about how to complete it, you will be given instructions on another training video on how to submit it. But just be sure that you submit accurate information directly from your client's signature sheet. Okay? Alright, so the next thing is the direct deposit. So because your pay schedule is a month, you are paid once monthly. And your pay date may vary from month to month because we do direct deposit. Because I do direct deposit, you guys will be paid on the administrative staff's pay schedule. So it's normally the first or second pay date of the admin staff. It generally is around the teens. It might be between like the 10th and the 19th or something like that. But your pay schedule, your pay date will vary from month to month. It is important that you be sure that you submit all of your documentations again when they are due, because it will directly impact your pay. If you submit documents late, then your pay will be late. Your pay will be late. You will either be paid on the next payroll for admin staff, or you will have to wait a whole entire month until the next rehab coordinator's pay date. So to avoid any late payment, please be sure just to submit your timesheets and documentation on time. This form right here, you are paid through ADP. Like I said, it's direct deposit. Be sure to complete this form in its entirety. Make sure that your information is accurate. I would hate to deposit your paycheck into someone else's account. So be sure that you have the correct banking number, routing number, and the right banking account, identifying whether it's a checking or savings account, if you want a full amount or partial, um, if you want multiple, if you want your pay to be split up into multiple accounts, we can do that as well, at least 2 accounts. But be sure to complete this and return this back to me so that you can be paid direct deposit. Okay? So, again, if you have any questions or concerns about any of these things, you will be given access to this new hire folder, um, and you have access to all of these forms. Again, if you have questions or concerns, please let me know. But as of now, you all should have received orientation documents. You should have received a letter outlining all the documents that we need. So be sure to submit those things as soon as possible. Once we receive those things, then we can move forward with your hiring process and begin to give you clients. Okay? But we must have all of these documents in order for you to begin. Alright, so again, if you have any questions or concerns about any of the documents that were reviewed today, please be sure to shoot me an email at lross@beautifulheartsandminds.org and let me know that you have some questions or concerns. If the questions can just be asked via email, you can just ask them via email, or if you have several questions or concerns, like I said, we can schedule a day and time to meet at the office. We can do a video conference or just talk over the phone to get clarity on what you have issues about. Okay? All right. Thank you so much. And this is the end of orientation.